Gorongosa is not merely a land restored to life. It is a living arena where survival rules every breath under nature's unforgiving laws. After years of destruction, the ecosystem surged back with remarkable force. Grasslands reclaimed, the soil rivers found their ancient paths, and wildlife returned in overwhelming numbers. Yet this revival carried a harsh truth. With renewal came an endless struggle for food space and the simple chance to remain alive. In Gorongosa, beauty can be deceptive. Calm horizons and golden sunrises mask silent pursuits. Sudden clashes and life or death choices made in the blink of an eye. What appears to be paradise is in reality a place where every step carries risk, and every sound may signal the final warning. The land lives and breathes, but within each breath lingers the presence of danger. In this reborn wilderness, nothing is promised. Predators endure hunger and exhaustion, while prey learn to adapt, fleeing when possible, resisting when escape is no longer an option. Gorongosa stands as a powerful reminder that the stronger life returns, the more intense the fight becomes to preserve it. Beneath Africa's untamed sky, every creature must pay a price to continue its existence. In the untamed heart of Mozambique, Gorongosa National Park shelters one of Africa's rarest predators, the African wild dog. Its coat splashed with black, yellow, brown, and white looks as if nature painted each one by hand. No two are ever the same. Every pattern is unique, a natural signature of identity and beauty. These hunters are a symbol of unity and collective intelligence. Alone, they would not survive. Together, they thrive through flawless cooperation. They are living architects of the African wilderness, and their greatest achievement is endurance itself. This is the wild dog of Gorongosa, rare, threatened, yet resilient. A beating heart of the savanna. Dawn awakens the plains of Gorongosa. Soft golden light cuts through the mist and settles on the lingering dew. From the shadows, African wild dogs emerge, ears, tall eyes sharp, moving forward in near silence with perfect synchronization. In the distance, a group of impalas grazes calmly, unaware that danger is closing in. The pack pauses. They watch. They measure distance and direction. Every detail is decided before the chase begins. Suddenly, the stillness shatters. Bodies surge forward at breathtaking speed. The pack splits in an instant, sealing off escape routes from both sides to encircle their target. But speed alone does not define these hunters. Their true weapon is endurance. They run relentlessly, draining their prey with each passing second. A young impala stumbles, loses rhythm, and falls behind, cut off from the safety of the herd. The air fills with harsh sounds. Life is surrendered to the unforgiving cost of survival. The scene does not go unnoticed. The struggle draws the attention of a far more powerful rival. A lioness approaches, summoned by chaos, her stride confident, her gaze burning with unquestioned authority. She pauses briefly, assessing the situation. The wild dogs, consumed by feeding, have not yet sensed her presence. Then heads lift, muzzles stained red, eyes lock with the embodiment of dominance. Without warning, the lioness charges straight into the heart of the pack. Order collapses, strategy dissolves, each dog scatters in a different direction. They understand the truth of the savanna. Against a lion, there is no victory, only escape. With a roar that seems to shake the ground, the lioness claims the kill amid clouds of dust. Power shifts hands. Soon other lions arrive to share the stolen prize, Unses. For wild dogs, every hunt is a gamble, success or loss, nourishment or hunger. For lions, dominance is never questioned. The savanna bends to their strength and relentless appetite. This is the balance of the wild. Beauty exists alongside brutality. Life is written in endurance and blood. The plains of Gorongosa remind us that nature does not reward fairness, only persistence. This is Africa's order. The powerful rule, the clever endure, and the cycle never pauses. Stripped of their meal, the wild dogs do not surrender. Hunger drives them onward. In this harsh world, failure is common, but survival leaves no room for rest or regret. Not far away, a massive herd of buffalo grazes in apparent calm, unaware of nearby predators. These towering animals, armed with curved horns like hardened spears, possess a strength even top carnivores respect. Yet the wild dogs show no fear. Their hunting style is a dangerous blend of boldness and precision. In a heartbeat, they surge forward like a storm, hooves and paws, kicking up clouds of dust. Amid the turmoil, weakness appears. A calf falters, unable to match the herd's pace. The pack descends upon it, overwhelming its fragile defenses. Then from the distance a roar splits the air. A mother's call, raw, powerful, driven by instinct older than reason. Her purpose is absolute, to tear her calf from the edge of death. But the dogs are many and they move with lethal coordination. In seconds, they divide into two units, one tightening around the calf, the other blocking the mother's advance, cutting off her path. Time stretches unbearably. The calf's cries echo across the plain like a final plea. At last, eyes burning with anguish, the mother is forced to retreat to avoid being separated from the herd, leaving the savanna once more to its unyielding laws. Behind her, the calf collapses. Exhausted and defenseless, it succumbs to relentless razor-sharp teeth. The air fills with chilling sounds as flesh is torn apart. A victory soaked in blood. This is the truth of Africa, where triumph and tragedy walk side by side on nature's endless stage. Once again, dawn spreads slowly across Gorongosa. A pale light glides over grasslands still wrapped in cold mist. Beneath thorny bushes, a hidden den shelters one of the continent's most remarkable predators. The African wild dog. Inside the pack stirs awake bodies, stretching yawns echoing through the damp morning air. Bright-eyed pups rush toward their mother, squealing as they seek the warmth of her belly. They jostle for milk, tiny bodies trembling with hunger and restless energy. Their innocent voices fill the den, a fleeting moment of tenderness in a ruthless world. Soon the mother pulls away, leaving her young behind as she prepares to face the harsh demands of the day. One by one, the adults gather, ears upright, tails, rigid minds aligned for the hunt. Their target is close. Warthogs root through the soil, tirelessly searching for roots and tubers. In an instant, the pack surges forward, a wave of speed and precision sweeping across the savanna. The ground quakes beneath pounding hooves as the warthogs race toward the maze of their burrows. Dust swallows the scene. Dark bodies collide and shove as chaos erupts. A warthog thrashes violently, tusks slicing the air, but relentless bites drain its strength. A storm of teeth rips through flesh. Blood stains the dry grass. The morning fills with the raw sounds of survival. After feeding, the dogs remember their duty. Heads lowered, they grip chunks of meat firmly and turn back toward the den. There the pups wait, tails wagging, ears alert, listening for every familiar sound. When the pack appears, excitement explodes. Small bodies leap and race forward in uncontrollable joy. The mother sets the food down and allows the eager mouths to feed with youthful enthusiasm. The moment reveals Gorongosa's deepest contrast, ruthless hunters on the open plains, yet devoted caretakers within the shelter of the den. On this African savanna, wild dogs prove that survival demands not only ferocity but unity as well. Dawn stirs the plains of Gorongosa once more. Sunlight flashes across the rippling surface of the river, turning it into a living mirror. The air is cool and heavy with moisture while birdsong fills the landscape, announcing the start of another day shaped by the struggle to survive. For decades, war and poaching erased what once thundered across this land. Where vast herds had roamed, silence took hold. Slowly, life returned. Herbivores came first, followed by predators, and with time, balance began to rebuild itself. Along the riverbank, massive gatherings of animals now assemble. Zebras and wildebeest cluster tightly near the water's edge. Beyond them stretches a sea of green grass, endless and inviting, promising abundance if they can survive the crossing. Yet beneath the calm surface, danger waits. Giant crocodiles lie motionless, mistaken for drifting logs. Patience is their greatest weapon. Within that stillness rests lethal power, ready to explode at the perfect moment. A low tension ripples through the herd. The ground vibrates, hooves strike the earth as the wildebeest move forward. The crossing begins. The river erupts into chaos. Hundreds of bodies leap, splash, and swim against the current, driven by urgency and instinct. The water awakens, dark shapes surge to life. Golden eyes cut through the murk, jaws open as ancient predators rise from their silent ambush. With explosive thrusts of their tails, the crocodiles charge at terrifying speed. The crowd is so dense that no choice is needed. Every second brings another target. A zebra stumbles, barely lifting its head before powerful jaws clamp down, dragging it into the turmoil. A wildebeest is seized, its desperate cries echoing as teeth sink into its thrashing body. The river turns red, churning with violence. What unfolds is an ancient ritual of death. Crocodiles twist and spin with savage force, tearing flesh and pulling prey into bloody whirlpools. Cries merge with the roar of water, forming a raw symphony of the cost of life. For the crocodiles, this is long-awaited reward earned after months of hunger and unbroken patience. But not all are taken. Many endure. Eyes burning with the will to live, zebras and wildebeest press forward together, pushing through fear with sheer determination. At last, survivors reach the far bank. For a moment, stillness returns. Heads lower to graze, alert yet seemingly at peace. Briefly, survival tastes like victory. Grass bends beneath grateful mouths. But the river's lesson is never forgotten, etched deep into muscle and memory. This is the law of Gorongosa: life can only flourish where death has first claimed its due. Dawn glides across Gorongosa. Sunlight slips through dew-soaked grasses, waking the savanna with a slow, steady breath. Mist lingers close to the ground as if the earth itself exhales in silence. Every blade of grass glimmers, signaling a calm beginning and the restrained pulse of life returning to motion. A pride of lions lies at rest, bodies rising and falling with measured breaths as constant as the morning light. Shared warmth settles into golden fur, easing the chill of night and strengthening bonds woven through familiar scents and unspoken closeness. Two lions rise and approach one another with quiet restraint. There is no urgency, only a silent exchange of posture, pauses, and understood boundaries. She moves first, shoulders rolling softly, tail tracing questions in the clear air. Reading his presence the way one reads the wind. He answers without force, lowering his head in respect, allowing strength to exist within calm. Their steps overlap on damp grass, curved tracks gleam briefly then fade as warmth claims the morning. It is a courtship without haste, guided by scent, balance, and ties as old as the land itself. She brushes his side gently, a small gesture woven into an ancient rhythm, simple, essential. He releases a deep rumble felt more than heard, a vibration shaped by seasons passing. Around them, the pride remains at ease. Trust spreads like sunlight, undisturbed by a ritual known and accepted. Slowly turning, they trade glances, ear tilts, tail movements. Everything aligns, shared intent, quiet agreement. Here instinct meets choice. Continuity is decided without words. Life chooses to go on. The moment is brief and unadorned, repeated through generations, etched into muscle and memory. When they part, they remain close, sharing breath and stillness, steady as hills beneath a forgiving sky. The sun climbs, gilding whiskers in gold. Suspended dust becomes light. Morning reveals unseen promises stitched into the hours ahead. Between heartbeats, tradition becomes future, carried in cells, in breaths, in gestures passed on without effort. As the sun continues its rise, insects tune a livelier rhythm and grasses answer with flashes of green. On the open plain, the scene becomes a lesson, tenderness with purpose, strength guided by respect, patience stretching well beyond midday. In the distance, two towering giraffes move slowly, their silhouettes swaying like masts across the brightening grassland. Each step is deliberate. Hooves tap softly while long necks draw elegant arcs against the pale morning sky. As they near the lions, the pride only watches. Calm, unthreatened, they measure every movement without haste. The giraffes halt together, legs spread wide, turning to face one another. Eyes gleam, muscles tighten with learned intent. The contest begins. Long necks swing like hammers. The impacts land deep in hollow bone against bone. The air shudders. Dust lifts in slow spirals. Beneath the shade, the lions remain still. Ears twitch, tails trace a patient beat. They witness a ritual older than storms. The dominant male exhales a low breath, authority relaxed, acknowledging a struggle that is not his. Another strike ripples through the air, the shock traveling across broad shoulders and chests. Balance is recalculated in fractions of a second. Necks cross like blades, then separate again. The rhythm is steady, competitive, strangely graceful despite its force. Sunlight flashes on ossicones like fleeting crowns, while hooves carve grooves that mark an improvised arena. The giraffes reposition, breathing hard. A faint steam rises from heated muscles as they slip back into shadow. Not far away, cool gazes fix upon them. Within the tall grass, lion shapes begin to advance, flowing like ships through a green sea. Each step carries a silent promise of restrained violence. The lions sink lower, bodies merge with the earth, muscles tremble, packed with stored power. Eyes lock onto the tallest male, strong yet exposed. Time stretches. Heartbeats thud in the still air, a fragile calm just before release. Then the pride explodes forward. A burst of golden fury erupts from the grass. The ground shivers, dust blooms, every stride is set for impact. The giraffe lowers its body, neck arching to gather force. It does not flee, it meets the charge. Hooves strike the earth like pistons, a warning written in bone. The ground erupts beneath them. The lioness drops low, aiming for the tendons. The giraffe answers with a brutal sideways kick. The air explodes like splintering wood. The lioness is thrown back, tumbling through the grass. The breath ripped from her chest. The charge falters, but the pressure does not end. One final push, uncertain now. Claws flash, then hesitate. Reason overtakes instinct. One by one, the lions pull back, panting. Disappointment settles on their backs like dust. The injured lioness limps toward the shadows. Another follows close beside her, brushing whiskers in a quiet gesture of support. The pride retreats without sound, carrying the marks of failure. The hunt has been beaten by height and raw power. Paws drag through the dust. Every step is heavy with hunger, exhaustion, and the bitter taste of defeat. The wounded lioness stumbles, her legs give way, she collapses onto the dry earth, her breathing turns shallow, uneven. In that moment, the savanna seems to pause. An entire kingdom bears witness to the silent death of a queen. Her final breath escapes as a faint sigh dissolving into the endless wind that sweeps the golden plains. Death announces itself quickly. Its scent rises like smoke carried on the air for scavengers to find. High above, dark shapes begin to appear. Vultures circle in slow spirals. Wings spread wide, eyes fixed on the tragedy below. Their harsh calls tear through the air, a hunger-driven summons that draws more shadows into the sky. Before long, the heavens darken. A storm of feathers and beaks descends without hesitation. The pride withdraws, unable to defend her body. Their roars are swallowed by the chaos of scavengers. From the trees, crows join the feast. Their sharp cries pierce the silence as they peck relentlessly at exposed remains. Flesh tears, bones crack, and the once powerful hunter is reduced to fragments beneath unforgiving beaks. Then the hyenas arrive, laughing with wild frenzy, jaws snapping, eyes blazing at the sight of effortless food. They drive off the vultures in a burst of violence, then sink their teeth into the carcass, ripping away chunks with savage force. Even among themselves, conflict erupts, growls, blood-spraying bites aimed not only at the dead but at one another. Dust rises, feathers scatter, and the savanna floor is stained red by the mark of endless struggle. The lions gather in silence. Their eyes burn. Grief hardens into blazing resolve. Hunger no longer guides them, only one purpose remains: reckoning for their fallen sister. The air grows heavy, dust swirling beneath their paws as if fate itself moves with them. Ahead stands the towering giraffe, the one whose deadly kick ended a precious life. Its long neck rises in defiance, unaware that it now faces not just hunters but vengeance. The lions fan out, encircling in silence. Their steps are whispers through tall grass. Muscles tighten beneath golden coats, tails twitch. Each heartbeat sets the rhythm of retribution. The giraffe senses danger. Ears flick, nostrils flare, but retreat is no longer possible. The lions close the circle around the tallest male near the group. Other giraffes lift their heads, nervously alerted by the faint rustle of grass betraying the predator's approach. Suddenly, a guttural roar shatters the air. The pride surges forward like an unstoppable wave of muscle, teeth, and claws. The ground trembles as the giraffes attempt to scatter. One massive male stands firm, planting his long legs, preparing lethal kicks. A single strike catches a young lioness, hurling her into the dust in a burst of pain. But the pride does not yield. They surround, faint retreat, then charge again, slowly draining the desperate strength of their prey. Lions leap at the flanks, claws carve deep grooves, blood stains the giant's pale hide. Dust mixes with the metallic scent of blood, forming a suffocating haze. The lions regroup and roar as one. Their combined voice rolls across the savanna like thunder from a breaking sky. The giraffe falters, legs tremble. Still pride burns in its eyes as the inevitable closes in. Blood gleams beneath the harsh sun as the pride feeds. Hunger is finally answered by nature's brutal balance. Above, vultures circle once more, shadows sliding across the land, waiting their turn. The lion's faces painted red roar in celebration of survival in a world shaped by constant struggle. Cubs emerge cautiously, tugging at small scraps, learning early the unforgiving lessons of a predator's life. The fallen giant lies still, its sacrifice ensuring the continuation of the lion's lineage on this plain. Here, nature offers no mercy, only the raw exchange of life and death that keeps the wild in motion. As the sun begins its descent, the savanna falls quiet, broken only by satisfied roars and distant echoes. The cycle of survival continues, relentless, eternal shaping, hunter and prey alike. Tomorrow will bring new battles, new losses, and the land will once again claim its due. The following morning, dawn opens slowly over Gorongosa. Silence carries the weight of the previous day's tragedy. Pale light touches the grass, illuminating a stage where life and death collided. A female giraffe appears. Her steps are uncertain. She searches desperately for the silhouette of her partner. Every movement trembles as if her heart already knows what her eyes refuse to accept. Then she stops. Before her lie scattered bones on the dry earth, remains of the one she once leaned on to endure. Her gaze fixes on a familiar leg bone, a pillar of shared life now irrevocably broken. Grief settles over her as heavy as the sky above a morning savanna. Around her, vultures circle calmly, waiting for sorrow to surrender to their patient hunger. Even the land seems to remember the spilled blood and the cries lost to the night. The entire savanna holds its breath, an eternal witness to a grief that has no voice. Wild Gorongosa stands as proof that nature never forgets how to fight. In a land reborn from ashes, life moves forward on a fragile balance, upheld by silent sacrifices and unavoidable confrontations. Here, survival is not a heroic act. It is a harsh routine repeated day after day. Beauty can be deceptive. Peaceful landscapes conceal chases, ambushes, and choices made in a single heartbeat. Every horizon in Gorongosa carries the shadow of conflict. Every breath may be a brief victory or the beginning of the end. Yet it is this very harshness that keeps the natural cycle alive. Constant struggle shapes species, strengthens the ecosystem, and reminds us that wildlife does not seek comfort, it seeks continuity. Gorongosa is more than a restored sanctuary. It is a testament that even after devastation, nature can rise again, as long as it is given the chance. If this story of resilience, survival, and rebirth moved you, subscribe to Beast Call Nature, like the video, and join us on more journeys into the heart of the wild, where every story is written with instinct, sacrifice, and real life.
Yeah.